Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So, before we dive into today's episode, which is boring PR stunts and possible spin offs, that do we want them or do we not want them? That's up for debate. So, before we dive in, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. So, with that, let's go. So, according to Reality Blurb, Lala Kent is out here feuding with Brittany Cartwright, talking about angry text messages she sent to her mother. Was it Jax's fault? Blah, 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 blah. To me, it's a very thirsty, boring PR stunt that is an obvious segue for Lala to join the Valley. Like, we already know that Brittany wants her to join the Valley. They are thick as thieves. They were BFFs on the after show. So all of a sudden now she's beefing with Brittany and Jax over a babysitter versus a nanny. It's very boring and it's too on the nose. So let's dive into what happened, and then we'll talk a little bit about Ariana and Katie. So here we go. Again, this is from Reality Blurb. It says Lala Kent shared a text message Brittany Cartwright sent her mom on the day of Lala's gender reveal party for her second child, claiming it turned into World War III and questioning Jax Taylor's involvement. The drama is surprising to many, given that Lala seemed close with both Brittany and her now estranged husband, who both star in the Vanderpump Rules spinoff, The Valley. Was it Jax that was revving Brittany up that made it so that Brittany and I got into World War III, asked Lala on a reunion preview shared by @TheBravoBabe on Instagram? Castmates then asked Lala to explain. Again, this whole setup, to me, it's boring, it's flat, it's too on the nose. Brittany acted so out of pocket on the day of my gender reveal, said Lala. She reached out to my mother, who was so effing out of pocket. People like to get real Hollywood quickly and call babysitters nannies. Now, the reason why this is on the nose is because they're essentially beefing over the fact that Lala used one of Brittany and Jax's babysitters for their son Cruz for her child, which is what we're assuming. And obviously we know that there is a difference between a babysitter, which is someone who comes in for a specific period of time to look after a child or children, versus a nanny, who is usually full-time care. They are day in and day out. They have a long-going relationship with the child. They may have only one family that they nanny for, maybe two, but it's a much more intimate, long-term, bigger commitment. So sharing babysitters, not that big of a deal. Poaching a nanny, I guess, would be a bigger deal, and to me, again, this is just sort of like a very boring problem, a very boring PR stunt, because the Valley is all about, oh, we're now in our late 30s or early 40s. I think Lala's like early 30s, but we have children, we have houses, we have grown-up problems now. So the fact that they're allegedly beefing over babysitters versus nannies, to me, it's flat, it's boring, it's too on the nose, and who effing cares? Also, the whole conversation around, oh, is it Jax revving up Brittany, is again just playing into this whole narrative how Brittany drinks because of Jax. Brittany's in a bad place because of Jax. They're splitting up because of Jax. That's not my personal opinion on it. I think it's pretty much 50-50, but I actually lean towards more Jax's side. I do think that Brittany needs to curb her drinking because she's physically getting sick. She's blacking out. She's throwing up. She's vomiting. She's having ulcers. She's not, healthy. So it's not about Jax having a double standard, telling her not to drink when he drinks. It's if something is making you sick, whether or not I take that same, like it could be milk. If you're lactose intolerant and when you take milk and when you drink milk, you get sick and you throw up and you are, having all these health problems. If I drink milk and I'm not lactose intolerant and I'm okay when I drink milk and I say to you, you know what, maybe you shouldn't drink milk because it makes you sick. That's not being a hypocrite. That's not having both sides. That's just saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't drink milk because it makes you sick. And that's what Jax is saying. Maybe you shouldn't drink because it makes you sick. And by the by, you're also the mother of my child, and I need you to be present with him. So if there's something you can do to be more present and to be healthy, that should be a very simple decision to make, then do that. So I'm more team Jax in this whole situation. And I think Brittany uses him as an scapegoat a lot. She belittles him. She kind of throws him under the bus. But I also think Jax is checked out of the marriage. I don't think he's into her sexually. I think that, it's more of a brother-sister relationship, not in a gross way, but you know how married people sometimes become like roommates. They become like almost familial in the sense where it's almost like brother or sister and they're co-parenting. So I think that's where it is for both of them. But I think that this whole taking a whole moment of the reunion for Lala to put on her black scent and talk about her mother slapping people and all this other stuff. So let's get into what she says. So I'm like, Lauren from Utah, have several seats. So she goes, do not text my mother the day that I find out we're having a baby girl and say, did you really hire our nanny without our permission? Lala continued. First of all, you're in Kentucky with your son Cruz, and she said, I have Jax yelling at me. And I said, well, then you need to have Jax call me so that I can eat him alive instead. She went on to say that a nanny and a babysitter are very different things. Had it not been Brittany, my mom would have slapped this hoe the next time she saw her, said Lala. My 63-year-old effing mom is being questioned by Kentucky Muffin. Are you joking? Lala, pipe all the way down. I like Lala, and I do think that she had a lot of really good points throughout the season. A couple of things, particularly when it came to Katie, I didn't really agree with what she was saying. But for the majority of it, not all of it, but for the majority of it, I do believe Lala was pretty much spot on with her assessment of stuff. But she also needs to calm down. Your 60-year-old mother slapping hoes. Lauren from Utah, please have several seats. Don't make me call 50 Cent so he can put you in your place. Chill, girl, chill. You're doing a little bit too much. And also, this is boring. If this is what the season 2 of The Valley is going to be, these people creating fake drama over nannies and babysitters, count me out. I'm out. And so some fans believe that this is the perfect segue into The Valley. If rumors are true that Lala is transitioning over, which I do think they're true. She bought a house in The Valley. She's friends with Brittany. They've been teasing it. Vanderpump Rules is pretty much over. And then one report suggested that current cast members of the original show are also following her, though Ariana and Katie may be getting their own spinoff. Now, Ariana and Katie getting their own spinoff, I will not be watching. Because I don't think that Ariana can carry a show on her own. And I mean a reality show. I'm not talking about her Broadway show, which is a historic show. I'm just saying a reality show where you have to have personality and engage with people. I don't think she can carry it. Maybe it'll be an ensemble show, justice for Katie. I feel like Katie Maloney has been the true victim of Vanderpump Rules for so many reasons. This is one part of why I disagreed with Lala this season, and particularly this reunion, when she's trying to out Katie for, venting about Ariana to her privately. Can Katie not have a friend where she can just be look, I spent a lot of money in something about her. If I say anything publicly, I don't want people coming for my business. I don't want the backlash, because it's true. People were spamming Yelp reviews for Tom. People were in or for Shorts and Sandy's rather. If anybody says anything against Ariana, they were eviscerated in the press and the media and the blogs, not by us over here, because we think for ourselves. So I understand where Katie was coming from. And I think that Lala, to be honest with you, should have just had Katie's back. Can somebody just let Katie live? Clearly, she was worried about her business with something about her. Clearly, she was worried about backlash if she said anything publicly against Ariana, which rightfully so, she should have worried about it, because look at what happens when anybody says anything about Ariana. Everybody gets all up in arms. Hopefully that's, waning down soon, but who knows? So I understand Katie's position. I think Katie just should have said to Lala, please keep this in confidence. I'm trusting you with this. You know the situation. You know the deal. You know I put my money in this. You know what would happen if I say something publicly. Like if she bails on me, and even Ariana could bail. That would also really hurt Katie. Like, can nobody have Katie's back? Like anybody. Sheena Shea wants to be like, by the way, I made out with Tom Schwartz 10 years ago. Ha ha. Like, why would she even bring that up? Like, can people just give Katie some type of break? And so I needed Lala to be a little bit more mature and a little bit more of a friend than to try and call Katie out. Like, let Katie just live for like 1 second, you know? And I get that on the show, Katie was coming for Lala when Lala would bring up stuff about Ariana and everything. But again, I think that Katie was coming from a place of, I'm trying to protect my business. I'm trying to protect, you know, what I have going on. Do I think maybe Katie, if she would have just stayed a little bit more neutral, so less defending Ariana, less going after Lala when she's saying stuff, would that have been a better look? 100%. But I also think a lot of what Katie was coming after Lala for was because she still had animosity towards Tom Sandoval, not because of what he did to Ariana, but because of what Tom Sandoval has done to her for over the past decade. To be honest with you, Tom Sandoval has done Katie more dirty than he did Ariana. Sure, he was cheating on Ariana, blah, 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 but he has systematically demeaned, gaslit, broke up this woman's marriage, put her down, called her a beater, abuser. All he has systematically crapped on this woman for over a decade and played a pivotal role in the demise of her actual marriage. Doesn't negate Tom Schwartz's responsibility. He was 100% responsible, but Tom played a huge part in that. So I think that Katie was really living out all of that through Scandival. And I think that's why when Lala would kind of defend Tom or kind of call Ariana out, that is where I think her true reaction was coming from. But Lala was so short-sighted, she just sees it as, you're coming at me and you're defending Ariana. Like, can we have a little bit more intuition and emotional intelligence dealing with this stuff? Justice for Katie Maloney. I've said it once, I'll say it again, justice for Katie Maloney. But I want to know what you guys think. You know, are you even watching The Valley? Do you want Lala to join? For The Valley, I need Lala, maybe Sheena, but we got to cap it at that. Because I don't want The Valley just to become Vanderpump Rules leftovers. You know, it's like the people who peaked in high school and now they get together every Friday night at the local bar talking about the glory days. I don't want that, you know? And to me, The Valley itself, it's kind of flopping. I thought it had a really strong start, but it's devolved for me. And I want to know what you guys think about that. And would you watch a Katie Maloney and Ariana spinoff? You know, they are partnering with Loverboy. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was some type of, you know, Lindsay, Carl, Kyle, Amanda, sort of mixing into some type of Summer House, Vanderpump. I don't know. Who knows? Would you guys watch that? Do we want to see something about her spinoff? I don't know if they're strong enough to do a spinoff. I'd have to see who's going to be a part of that ensemble. So I want to know what you guys think. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share.